All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this is actually the first episode of Path of Purpose since we changed the name, which was formerly Getting to Hear, formerly Talk with Tifford, but rebranding the podcast as Understanding Our Guests, and really understanding their purpose and their path and how they got there, and really understanding what it is that they love to do and why they do it. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest today. We have Kyle Hammel, a good friend of mine from growing up, also a almost professional MMA fighter, currently amateur, 7-1. Is that correct? 7-1,
7-1.
coming out of
Yep.
Florida. That's where he's fighting. Also, he's graduating soon and coming off a very awesome and impressive victory. So yeah, congratulations again on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah.
Thank you.
I'd love to just get us started off and to really ask, what is it that you love about fighting? Just not like one thing, but just what do you love about it?
Man, there's so many things that I love about fighting. I feel like it keeps me grounded in every aspect of my life. When I go training, I get that mental clarity. First thing in the morning, I eat real quick, I go to training, and then, I carry off with my day. And after training, I just feel like just a better version of myself because I'm pushing to be that person every single day when I go training, and it just carries on throughout the rest of the day. So, no matter if I have a bad morning, a bad sleep, these things are normal to happen, and whenever I train, I get that out, that anxiety, that fear, just whatever I'm feeling, I get it out of the way, and then it's like I could carry on the rest of my day without just worrying, you know. So yeah.
Thank you. It's a beautiful answer, and it sounds like it really provides you with that structure in that structure and that purpose and discipline to almost like carry your mental well-being, if you will.
Yeah,
How
100%.
how did you know that this is what you wanted to do? Because if I remember, like, you've done this, you've been doing some sort of martial arts your whole life, but
hmm
how did you know that this is what you're meant to be doing?
Um, I did a lot of reflecting on, myself, and I just feel like I've been born for this, honestly. I was born into a karate studio when I was younger, and, I just always felt that martial arts was my thing. It was my passion. It was what I love to do. You know, I tried a lot of other sports, and I loved baseball. I loved basketball. You know, I loved wrestling, but like even wrestling, I just knew wrestling wasn't for me. Like I was good in wrestling, but it was more of like I was into like fighting more, you know? Like every combat sports um what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say basically that I just felt like I was born into fighting, and that's just what I was meant to do, And I've tried other combat sports like wrestling, and I just feel like I love combat sports. It's just something that I love to do. But yeah.
Hmm. What feels different about MMA versus like having trained karate and having trained jujitsu
hmm
and or still training jujitsu and
Yeah.
having trained wrestling? Like what feels different about MMA to you?
It just feels more organic. It feels more natural. I feel like I could fully express like who I am
Mm,
as a martial artist more, like wrestling, you're more on the ground. It's more of like pressure, and jujitsu is more of like relaxing, like, I could go off my back if I want. I could come on top and wrestle if I want, you know. And then you just add the Muay Thai aspect of it, and it's like it's crazy.
mm,
So yeah, there's so many different arts like combined. I feel like that's just
mm.
awesome.
Yeah, so sort
Yeah.
of like the being able to combine it all together and to be able to be more creative with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
100%.
Do you feel like how long have you been doing MMA now?
About 5 years. As
Okay.
soon as I got to Florida, boom.
Do you feel like do you like what sorts of challenges did you face when you were transitioning into MMA after having done all these various different forms of martial arts? Like, was there something that was challenging about trying to mix it all together, or like what was that process like for you?
Mixing it all together wasn't necessarily a problem because I started off as karate, transitioned into jiu-jitsu, did wrestling all throughout high school. So it wasn't the transitioning part that was difficult. It was more of like just training with other guys that had the same level of passion for the sport as I did. And it was like competing against those guys as well. So it was like, sometimes you got your ass handed to you at the gym. Boom, boom. You got hit in the face. You got hit in the body, and then it's just like, all right, now you start questioning. Is this for me? Is this what I really want to do? You're coming home and you're hurt. Your head hurts. From a hard spar, and it's like these questions. Come back from time to time. When you're faced with challenges.
Mm,
And I just kept reminding myself that, I was born to do this. Next time at training, I'm gonna come back stronger. What did I do wrong in that sparring session that made me, you know, feel this way?
mhm,
What didn't I do? And then it's just all that self-reflecting and self-talk. And
mm.
then, you know, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It sounds like you talked a little bit about that process of like how you handle uh like some of the tougher days, but
hmm
when like do you have any other sorts of practices that you use to help you stay on that path, right?
Oh, 100%. The number one thing is eating right. When you need to eat right in order to feel right.
Mm,
Like I'm not gonna go to training like tomorrow if I just had a whole box of cookies. Like I mean, some people could do that. Some people could do that. Me, nah. It takes away from my mental edge
mm,
of just being a clean athlete, eating good food, feeling good. You know, if I don't feel good, I'm not gonna perform good. And I do a
yeah.
lot of stretching. That's equally as important because you're deep breathing through certain areas that you're probably feeling tense.
Mm,
You know, so and then yeah, just focusing on the breath, honestly,
mm,
pretty
mm.
much.
What let's talk a little bit about your diet. What does your
hmm
diet look like for the most part, besides the
In camp,
cookies?
we'll talk about in camp. In camp, so in camp, it's no fooling around. Basically, it's steak, ribeye, uh, wild caught salmon. Um, I incorporate a lot of fruit smoothies with ginger. I bump up the vitamin C, so anything high in vitamin C, oranges, lemons, and sticking with whole foods. Honestly, I don't even eat bread. during fight camp.
Mm.
It's just mostly fruits for the energy, and then for the muscle recovery, good quality proteins.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Are you getting most of your carbs from fruit?
Most of my carbs are from fruit, and then I have sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Like after training, before training, I don't really like that starchiness.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I usually just have the fruits because the fruits go right through you, and
Yeah.
then the sweet potato for after, But yeah, that's
Mm.
pretty much it.
So then what about when you're not in camp?
When I'm not in camp, I'm all right. So I do like cookies. I love
Yeah.
cookies. I love ice cream. I do like pizza, but again, I don't feel right when I eat those foods.
Mm.
So it's like I know the inflammatory markers in my body just go through the roof. So if I am gonna cheat, it's gonna be something not too much. Like I'm not gonna have a whole pie pizza. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be maybe one or two, and enjoy it while I eat it. But yeah, can't
Mm.
be doing that all the time
How
for
so
sure.
if you is this usually like after a fight, like in terms of like celebrating the hard work that you've done?
Yeah, of course. But again, like when I eat all those foods, my weight goes up. So am I trying to have my weight go up and then having to worry about cutting all that during the fight camp? Because then I gotta change schedules basically. If I'm not 100% with my diet, then that means, all right, I'm gonna have to do more cardio, and
Mm-hmm.
then I lack on certain areas during fight camp, like working on my explosive power or my strength. So it's
Yeah.
like, you gotta balance everything,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So how many days would you or meals would you say approximately like you give yourself after like like uh like after a fight, for instance?
Like a week I'll go crazy. Like all last week was just having foods that I just saw scrolling through social media. Um, because while I was cutting weight, I was seeing all these food stuff on my page, and I was getting hungry. So I was like, all right, like I'm gonna write this down. I saw Five Guys. I wrote down what I wanted at Five Guys. Got Five Guys. So it's like stuff like that. You
Yeah.
you gotta enjoy yourself.
So a full week, like 21 meals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Basically, I had so much food. Like the daily amount of calories I was eating was probably like 4,000 a
Mm.
day,
Oh. Let's
and
talk.
I
Yeah.
normally eat like 2,500.
Wow.
So
I wanted to
yeah.
talk about the in the last fight. I saw the I actually didn't even notice this till after the fight, till you were reposting on your
Mhm.
story, but like the fake love touch.
Oh, bro, it wasn't even a glove touch, bro. I'm going out like with my stance.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Everyone's just got something to say. That's it.
So are you saying that that wasn't a fake love touch?
Nah, I shook his hand at the weigh-ins. We didn't want to touch gloves. Usually before the fight they bring you out to the center of the octagon.
Yeah.
They're like, "Yo, touch gloves, go back to your corner," right?
Hmm.
So that didn't happen this time. So I'm thinking, all right, like I'm in the cage, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, refs like, you ready? You ready? Let's go. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm in the cage. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. All right, we don't have to talk
So,
about it anymore. I just had a quick question.
nah, you're good. Nah. This is to
Yeah.
clarify all the air for
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. What how did it feel, or does it feel like, compared to your other wins, did this one feel different afterwards? Like right after you get the finish, has it felt different than the other ones?
That's a good question. Honestly, no. I felt the same level of joy from the win as I did on the
Hmm.
other fights.
Yeah.
You know, each camp, I feel like I battled through a certain thing within myself.
Hmm.
And this camp, it was more, I got sick about a month out from the fight. I had pneumonia and I was thinking about pulling out from the fight.
Yeah.
And you know, that was just something that I battled through the fight camp. And I just knew that I put in a lot of work to get to where I am. And I knew once I got healthy again that I was gonna be good to go, ready for this fight.
Hmm.
So, you know, that was pretty much it. And, you know, I felt good after the fight, after I got the win, because it was like, all right, like we had a little, you know, little slump during the fight camp, and you know, you overcame that. So,
Yeah.
you know, I was happy that I was able to bounce back like that,
Hmm.
and yeah, so it felt good. Felt good. Definitely felt good.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that must have been uh like a roadblock to have to work with that. But
Yeah.
how did it feel in the moment, like when you found out you were sick, in
hmm
sort of that timeline? Like, can you walk us through, like, what was that timeline like, and when did you find out you were sick? And then how, like, what was your, like, mental process when you found out you were sick, and uh how did you go about, like, moving forward with what you were doing?
So actually I was living at my aunt's house, and she brought her dogs back, and I'm allergic to dogs, so um, that was around. Let me pull up the calendar. It was yeah. So it was around
Mm-hmm.
March, like mid March. Um, and so I had to pull out of school, and I took a flight back to Connecticut, and I had to go to a few doctors. And basically I went to this holistic doctor, and she prescribed me, she did a blood work first and to see what was going on. I had pneumonia. Um, they thought it was COVID or something, but it wasn't. So we found out what it was. It was pneumonia, and then just was getting treated for that. Basically, at night I couldn't sleep. I couldn't breathe throughout the day. At this point, I was going to training, jiu-jitsu training only, because I was back home, and you know I only do jiu-jitsu when I'm back home. And basically, I was rolling with this black belt, and within 2 minutes, I couldn't breathe,
Mm.
like during the roll. And
Yeah.
then he just got on top of me, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta focus on your breathing." I'm like, bro, like I'm trying to focus on my breathing. I'm fucking low key sick. Uh, but yeah. So I found out I had pneumonia. Um, I just started getting healthy again. I was riding my bike. I was running, trying to get that breathing, you know, to get back into rhythm. And then ended up going back to Florida. And then something with the plane ride, it kind of messed with my sinuses a little bit, because you know you go on a plane. And then so it was like the first week I got back to Florida, I was just thinking to myself, damn, like I don't know if I could do this, um you know, but I knew I had to go through this. I knew this was part of the process and the
Yeah.
challenge that I had to overcome in order to get to this fight, you know, just to
Hmm.
be there, you know. And you know, I just trusted myself that I was gonna get healthy. I was telling myself I'm gonna get healthy, and then I did. found it up, or not found it up, but like a week after, I was going back to fight sports. I was going back to ATT training,
Mhm.
and I was feeling good. I was sparring. I was doing hard sparring, and I was finally getting my breathing back. So at this point, my confidence is going back up. So it's like, yeah, we could do this. We could do this. And it was basically just positive self-talk through this whole process of not being able to breathe, having a bunch of mucus,
Yeah.
and then
At this
yeah,
point in time, how far out was the fight?
it was like 3 weeks out.
Okay.
3 weeks out, I was feeling good. It was like
Hmm.
4 weeks out, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Am I gonna pull out? Like I gotta drop this weight as well. I got 30 pounds to drop and I'm sick.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So when you when you got sick, then what was your like for you? Was it always? And from what you said, it sounded like for you it was always like keep going. Like
hmm
stopping isn't an option. Like what was your like? Were there any sort of setbacks when you when you first got sick? Were you like, oh, like maybe I'll just pull out, or like how did you navigate that?
It was hard because at this point I wasn't even exercising really. It was more of like just finding out what is going on with my body. I don't know what's going on. So we went to many different doctors, got chest x-rays. I seriously didn't know what was going on with me. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to breathe like normal
Yeah.
again. It was really scary. And then that's when I was like, you know what? We really got to dial in on this diet. I just started cooking all my meals. All my meals, I was giving myself good energy. I wasn't going out getting food. It was just me in the kitchen basically. At
Hmm.
that point, um, and I felt peace with that, being in the kitchen, cooking my own food, giving myself good energy. I think that's what was getting me back to 100.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Let food
yeah.
be thy medicine.
Hey, amen to that.
Yeah. How actually not how. I the question that I have is what is your what is your long-term vision? Or what's your vision? What's your vision for where you are now and uh just where you see yourself going?
Uh, the vision for myself right now, if we're looking down the road, definitely UFC champion. That is something embedded in my mindset that I will never let go of.
Hmm.
And as far as going professional right now, I'm thinking about one more amateur fight, and that'll pretty much wrap it up. And then I'm talking to a few promotions right now, uh, professionally to see where we're going, taking the next step. So yeah, my management team's gonna handle all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
What do you see yourself like? Let's say you get to be a champion, like you're UFC
hmm
champion,
Uh-huh.
you're let's say you're 27 or something.
Yeah. hmm
Like then what?
You know what? That's something that I haven't really thought of because once I get the belt, it's like, what's next, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and it's probably going to be whoever's next.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but I haven't really looked that far down, but I know definitely being the champion's like my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Ultimate. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is fighting something that you want to be doing for like is competing at a high level, is that something that you're interested in doing for as long as your body can handle, or is it something that you like want to do and achieve a certain amount of things and then step away? Like how do you view your goals in that sort of aspect?
Yeah, 100%. MMA wise, it's till the wheels fall off, you know? And then obviously I would like to continue with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu's changed my life. Um, yeah, definitely sticking with that gentle art for sure.
Yeah.
Because jiu-jitsu's not really like it is to a certain extent,
Hmm.
but you could also you could dictate the pace. You
Yeah.
could decide if you want to like have a fun roll
Hmm.
or have a hard spar, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Have you? I know you've done a little bit of teaching. Is that
Hmm.
how does that fill a like a different like a different purpose for you, would you say? Like how does what does it feel like to teach versus to compete in something that you're so passionate in?
I'm glad you brought up that question. So I'm actually teaching the kids jujitsu now at American Top Team Deerfield, and I love it. This is like my bigger purpose right here. It's
Mm.
like just giving back to the youth, you know, helping them with their discipline,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah. I mean, teaching's awesome.
Mm.
And can you repeat what you said about the competitive
Oh, how
nature?
yeah, how does it feel? Does it feel different than competing? Even though it's something that you love to do, like teaching
Yeah.
versus competing, does it feel like a different purpose for you?
Oh, 100%. Teaching's just one of those things that you can't really compare it to like competition.
Hmm.
It's more of like it's giving back. It's like discipline for the kids
Yeah.
or just discipline to whoever you're teaching.
Hmm.
And yeah, I love it.
Mm.
Really love it. It definitely feels that bigger purpose
Yeah.
for sure.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Has it helped you to answer like some of those bigger questions for about like what you may want to do in the future? Like
Oh,
maybe
100%.
yeah.
100% because I'm in school for business right now. I plan on opening a gym, getting my black belt soon. So I really want to have a gym and be able to have great coaching and people around me to
Yeah.
help give back to that community.
Hmm. Cool. Have you have you learned uh like what are some of your biggest takeaways from teaching?
Teach definitely discipline
Hmm.
for sure. I feel like even getting back to some of the basic stuff, because basic stuff wins fights.
Hmm.
Um, I've hit three triangles first round in an MMA fight, and it's like going back and teaching step by step by step, to um, you know, the kids, it's just awesome, to see like how they learn from what I've learned, and like it's just like continuing that uh growth,
Yeah, learning.
for me and for whoever I'm teaching.
Hmm.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What what advice would you have for somebody uh who's like on the edge and they don't really know if MMA is something they want to do,
Hmm.
um but they're really passionate about it. Like what sort
Yeah.
of question would you ask to them to kind of guide them to be in a place where they can make that decision with clarity?
Yeah, I think there's like two kind of parts to that question. One would be why. You have to have a big enough why. And two, I would ask, you need to be all in.
Mm.
You can't half-ass fighting. You can't go in second guessing. It's it's yes or it's no. You know, which one is it? So t
Yeah.
tough questions you gotta ask, but you know, when you get to the root of it, yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a place that's, it's not an easy place to be if you're not, if you don't fully know why you're there.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's not like you're making like desk calls, to someone and you're just you're paying the bills. Like, a lot of the
Hmm.
times it's like there's no money in this for a while. And
Hmm.
on top of
Yeah.
that, you're also like, it's a hard thing, a
Hmm.
dangerous thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. It's risky, you know. I know a lot of fighters that um, you know, they work in the kitchen, you know, it's not for them, you know, but they love fighting. That's their passion, right? So it's like, are you gonna leave that just to, you know, try and achieve, you know, your goals? Or is it, you you know what? I'm happy just being in the kitchen and then training, um, doing my passion on the side, you know? And
Yeah.
that's fine, you know? That's fine, but I feel like in order to get to the level you want to reach, you got to be all in. You got
Yeah.
to be all in. With the diet, with your mindset and
Mhm.
with everything, you
Yeah.
know.
Do you ever have doubts in your ability to achieve what you want to achieve?
No. No, there's no doubt. There's definitely going to be questions um when you're faced with adversity, of course.
Yeah.
But I believe in my ability to overcome
Yeah.
whatever it
Mm.
is. Like
Yeah.
there's no doubt. You have to eliminate doubt.
Yeah.
Have to.
How do you how do you navigate adversity when it comes to questioning your purpose?
Um, Good question. It's gonna be returning to your intuition. So, and I believe my intuition is um to be the best. That's it. To be the best. So, yeah. Just returning to your intuition would be the
Yeah.
short answer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it makes you think too. It's like I feel like a bigger challenge, a more common problem that people face is lighting the spark, if you will, of their intuition and hearing what it is that they're meant to be doing, because it's not as clear
Hmm.
for everybody. Like, oh, I'm
Hmm.
like this is my, like, this is what I need to do, is go out and dedicate my life and my whole entire lifestyle to fighting. Or like for me, like writing like having a podcast and working with people one on one and doing that sort of thing. So what sort of what sort of what sort of guiding question would you ask to someone who's having a hard time finding that? and having a hard time listening to that voice in themselves?
Mhm. That's a really good question. Basically, I would ask, like, what is it that you really want? You know, do you want money? Do you want do you want fame? Like, what is it that you want? Like, and for an example, my roommate's a pilot. My roommate's a pilot, right? And he's passionate about flying. He loves it, and it's like, what is it about flying that you really like? And he's just like, I feel at peace when I'm up in the sky. Um, and it's not money driven. It's not money driven. He just has a passion, and he loves to be at peace flying.
Yeah.
That's what makes him happy at the end of the day. So, you got to find joy in, whatever it is that you're passionate about. Because if you're not having fun, um, chasing whatever it is that you want, it's not going to
Yeah.
be good. So,
Yeah. And it's almost like on top of that, and then like the question of what are you chasing and why are you chasing it? Because like
yeah,
there's
yep,
I know a lot of people that are super driven by money or fame or success,
mm-hmm,
but it's almost like a hollow pursuit in a way where it's like, oh, I'll be more fulfilled when I get this thing rather
yeah,
than being fulfilled doing the thing.
exactly,
And like for your roommate,
exactly.
it sounds like, yeah, it's just about the process of either flying or fighting or like the here, like the goals are
Hmm.
important. And like I'm curious what you think on this too. But like
Yeah,
the goals are important, but at the same time the importance should be put on like the process and enjoying the process
hmm,
and growing in the process.
yeah, 100%. It's about the journey, where you get. It's not, oh, I want to be UFC champion right now. It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's the journey. It's the journey. How you get there. There's gonna be bumps in the road, it's gonna be
Yeah.
windy. You're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. But, you know, enjoy the process. Enjoy what you have now. Enjoy where you are right now. And eventually, if you keep striving, you'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever worry that you might not become champion?
No. I don't worry about that at all.
Yeah.
I've been a champion before. It's gonna happen again. So if it wasn't meant to be, I would have never won the belt in the first place.
Hmm.
So, there's obviously gonna be better opponents that I'll be facing in the near future, and I'm ready to take on that challenge.
Yeah.
But um, you know, if it wasn't meant to be, I'd never be a champion, and nothing's ever gonna change that in my
Change what?
mindset. Like not reaching my
Yeah.
full potential of
You're
being a
saying
champion
the
in the
out
UFC.
the worry of the outcome won't stop you from trying to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something in that too, because it's like I feel like we can have like such a strong inner calling to like pursue something and to know like this is what we're born to be doing. But at the same time, there's almost a part of it that's like there's many parts of it that are out of our control too, that are out of
Hmm.
our will.
Yeah. 100%.
And so I think, yeah, like the discipline is such a big part of it. The discipline, and you're aligning your love for what it is, and doing that too. But also, like, what's I think an important question to ask is, and not to say that, like you said, this shouldn't get in the way of you trying to get there, but what happens, like God forbid something happens, what how do you react, and how do you come back, and how do you handle adversity?
Was that a question or?
Just like just posed it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I've had many obstacles in the past that have, you know, like the one last fight that almost had me pull out of this fight. And it was like, nope, like this is not stopping me.
Hmm.
And, you know, I ended up overcoming that obstacle. And then I knew once I got in the cage, bro, let's go. I just knew that. So,
Yeah.
and I've had many other obstacles in the past. I've
Hmm.
had before, I think it was like my second fight. Um, I think I got caught in a heel hook like a week before my fight, and I couldn't stand on my foot for um that whole like fight week while I was cutting weight. Yeah, and like I didn't do anything that whole fight week. It was literally just me in bed, putting like cream on my foot because I couldn't walk. I remember I couldn't even go to class at that point too because like it was just hurting. And then I'm warming up in the back like I'm getting loose. And then I'm telling my coach my foot hurts. And he's like, "No, no. Like block that out, you know? Because
Yeah.
then you start getting into that mindset. Oh, I'm about to go in the cage and my foot, I can't kick, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, block that out. You don't need that now.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
know, you get in the cage, you just don't worry about that,
Yeah.
you know? So,
What would you say is a common theme of the people who are the most supportive of you on this journey?
who would I say is the most supportive?
Or like what's a common theme of the people who are the most supportive? Like is there a common theme between them?
Love, love. Just, everyone coming out to support me, showing me love. That's all I need, you know? And, you know, everyone's always asking me how I'm feeling fight week. My phone is blowing up fight week, and you know, I love it. Some people hate like, people talk like texting them before their fights or, just hitting them up, but I really enjoy all the support and the love that I get from all my people. It
Yeah.
it seriously means the world to me. And, for my family, I mean, yeah, the theme is definitely love. I like, yeah, just love, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah.
So what's next?
Yeah. What's next? Um, I'm pretty sure I'm about to fight in. I don't think I'll be able to fight in June because I gotta get a little surgery. But
What
I'll
surgery?
probably be. I gotta get my laser eye surgery
Mm.
because I can't really see when I go in the ring. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
So, and like I've had a few fights where my contact will like fly out of my eye during the
Hmm.
fight. And it's like I don't even want to think about that going into the
Yeah.
ring, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm about to get that done and then I'll probably be good for September. I'm trying to get one in September and then turn pro and then from there just continuing to fight. I want to be more active next year. This year it doesn't seem like it's going to be too active fighting wise because I don't think a lot of people want to take this fight anymore,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest. We've had a bunch of cancellations. We had two cancellations before this fight. Before entering this fight, I was on a 6 month layoff. Not really layoff because I was still training every day, but as in like competing wise, it was like a 6 month layoff.
Mm.
So yeah. So next one definitely in September.
You got some time.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't really take off any time last fight too, cause like the last one was in September 8th,
Mhm.
and I was good after the first round. Like I finished
Yeah.
the fight in the triangle choke, and then I was ready to go after.
Mm.
So it was just a matter of finding a fight within that time frame, and then it didn't end up working out. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I was still training every day. So
Nice. Do you like when you go pro, is your intention to stay where you are in Florida?
yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I definitely want to stay around Florida. We we know the connections. We know the route to go to the UFC and
Yeah.
what route we kind of want to go down.
Hmm.
So yeah, that definitely sticking with my team in Florida will definitely have the best possible way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to over there?
Uh, and you're a goat. My training partners, Dad, Kimmy, you guys are amazing. Scooter, you're a good boxer, bro. Um, yeah, just shouting out all my boys back home, Anatoly and Phil, coming out to see me for my fight. Only real G's do that. And to all my friends, and my family come watching me fight. You guys supporting me since the very beginning. They've been there since the beginning. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, this seems like a good place to end.
All right.
We'll stop the
All right.
recording.